Okay, so I've cast on 20 stitches and I've started my 1x1 rib. This is for Linda to show how we can do ribbing without a ribber. I'm doing this on the chunky machine as it's easier for you to see in a light colour yarn, and I've done 3 so you see the effect. Knit, purl, knit, purl, knit. So what we do is we miss a stitch and we take the stitch off the needle. We start at the bottom and we go to the stitch at the bottom and hold it in place so that if we do go too far, this is our safety. So on the latch key I've got my stitch. You put the latch tool, you put the stitch behind the latch and pull the yarn through. So stitch behind the latch and pull the yarn through, and you just repeat that to the top. So there we go. And the latch, pull. So you're just basically doing what the ribber would do. Now I would only do maybe 10 at a time till you get used to it. The more stitches you do, the harder it becomes. I would never do 2 side-by-side stitches at the same time, as that just causes lots of problems and doesn't ever end well for me. But obviously the more you do it, the easier it becomes. The stitch doesn't want to pick up. That's because we've not got it on there. Right, just a moment. There we go. Got it now. So we drop this stitch and we just ladder it down, you know, like a drop stitch. We've all had drop stitches. It's basically the same thing, but you're picking up on the plain side rather than the purl side. So you're knitting it up. Try and stay in the middle of the stitch, keep the yarn there, and that gives a nice line, nice straight line. So there we have 1x1. To do 2x2 is basically the same. You miss 2 stitches and you find the stitch, you drop it down, and you can use a tool to drop it down. That makes it a wee bit easier. You can also use the tool to stabilise the stitch. I sometimes do that if I'm doing too many at a time. Like you see, you can hold the tool there, that stabilises it, and it makes it easy for finding the middle of the yarn above, and it seems to hold it steadier. You get a nicer finish if you do that. So there we go. We put that one in like that. There, do this one as well. There we go. That's it. And just and you can do it quite quickly. It's quite relaxing. It takes a wee bit longer than most machine knitting stitches, but it's definitely worth it. You can see 1x1, and that's 2. This 2. And just start slowly when you first do it. Take your time, and you'll soon get the hang of it. It's quite simple. Nothing too challenging, really. Yeah. And this one. Obviously the closer you get to the bottom, the better, but don't drop the stitch, because might mean starting all over. Can't cut it. There we go. Now I'm going to cast this off, and I'll be back in a minute showing you what the finished effect looks like. Okay, so this is one I did earlier. There's the 1x1 at the left hand side. You can see it closes up just like a rib, and the 2x2 texture's the same. It looks good. So you get your stretch. Stitches look just like a river, and it's quite quick and easy to do. There's 10 rows there. You could do however many you want, or as little as you want, but the effect is just the same as a river basically.